to the Khadijah Show. Today, we are switching it up. For over 15 years, I have worked in sexual and reproductive health. I've always been curious about relationships between people and the interpersonal skills that help us be better, not only for ourselves, but for each other. I really geek out about this stuff. So I invite you to geek out with me today. Today, we are focusing on love and intimacy. Whether if you're in a relationship, looking for the perfect match, or perfectly fine being single, you will get something from today's episode. Today's theme is Bloom Where You Are Planted, Love and Lessons, to build a relationship you want, even if you're single. I'm so excited for my guest for today, so let's get into it. I am so excited for my very first guest on this episode. Now, listen, like I said, we are switching it up today. So I have someone that I have worked with for years, and she is what we like to say a sex nerd, in the way of she has receipts, research, she has all of the citations. She is so smart. If you ever need to know research about something, this is the person that you want to talk to about it. I am so excited to introduce my friend, my colleague, the brilliant Lauren Lenzen to the Khadijah Show.
Oh, thank you.
Woo! Yay! First and foremost, thank you so much for deciding to come and share your brilliance about this topic, which we get to geek out about a lot in our professional lives, but I'm glad to be able to have a more casual conversation with you about these things. So I know you really well, but can you tell me a little bit, how did you become a sex nerd? That's so cool.
I mean, I think I do identify as a nerd in many ways.
You like information.
Exactly. In terms of, I like information. I easily get sucked down rabbit holes. I love collecting information too. I was really curious.
Yeah.
It was easy to be curious about things. And then when I found out more information, it would just be more things to be curious about, which is something I've always loved about our conversations. Mm-hmm. It's a way that we're kind of the same person. I mean, kind of not.
There's some clear differences.
Yeah, there's a couple, just a few.
But there's a lot of similarities with our curiosity around this topic. And that's what we always tell people is relationships and intimacy and this whole umbrella of things that we can put inside of it, dating, all of it.
Yeah.
You can never stop learning. It is evolving. We're evolving as people. So how we thought about this stuff in our 20s, thank God, is not how I think about it in my 40s, right?
And the more we relate to other people too, I feel like that also ties so well into sparking that curiosity, because it's there's what I think, but then as soon as I'm relating to others, it becomes clear very quickly that oh, you see it a different way, or a different thing resonates for you, or a different thing shaped your experience when it comes to how you see yourself and how you want to interact with other people.
Absolutely. And all of these things, is in our backpack when we are engaging in relationships or even a relationship with ourselves. Mm-hmm. So here's a question, and whatever comes to your mind first. That feels appropriate.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like I should say that.
FCC.
Thank you. What is something that you learned recently that was just oh my gosh, this just really got me to think about this whole topic in a totally different way?
I mean, recently, I've always known that the way people experience their body is different. Everybody has insecurities about their body, but they're different kinds of insecurities. Mm-hmm. But lately, I've been doing a lot of education with teens and young adults, and I'm willing to be open here. I was assigned female at birth. I do not have, I can say that right?
I don't know.
I don't know, what are the 12 words you can't see on TV?
I don't know.
So, but
that's probably one of them.
I do education for people who do have an outie, we'll say.
An outie.
Outie.
That's cute. Mm-hmm. The thing that we tell people not to do or do. Just call them the words. But for everyone, in case your kids are watching the Khadijah Show with you, an outie. That's what we're talking about.
And so just really trying to like, while I've known that there's insecurities about that, also like trying to really put myself in their place of like, when they ask me questions about what's normal or enough or make jokes with each other, like what would actually be helpful for them to hear, to feel like they can be at home in their body, because it's the only body they're gonna have.
We're always trying to figure out how to feel good in our bodies. Not
Right.
saying you're gonna be like, I'm super confident and that's where I live all of the time.
Right.
But there's always opportunities to appreciate the body you have and like what it is doing for you, instead of thinking about what your body is not and what it's lacking or not doing for you.
And that is, I guess, one way that it shaped me, you know, being an 80s baby and being raised by some counterculture, you know, hippies. Yeah.
Your parents were hippies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
But also just being the person that I am, it became clear to me from a pretty early age that this single idea of what it meant to be beautiful or feminine, like, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Like, I might be white, I might be pretty comfortable with some elements of femininity, but you know, if you watch Disney movies from the time, like, I feel like half the time the women's heads are smaller than the men's hands. And by the time I was 12, it was pretty clear that that was not going to be me, right?
As we think about the topic, the theme for today, you know, bloom where you're planted, because Lauren, you know me really well. You know I love a metaphor. And so they're going to come in fast and hot for the rest of our time together. But when you think about all the things that were planted inside of you that grew, and as you grow up, you know, you tend to that garden differently. And then when you're in relationships, you're like, oh, I watered this one part of myself, but it wasn't actually serving me. And there's too many weeds over there, and there's some crabgrass. But there's also
infestation.
Yeah, but there's also opportunities to think about this other part of your beautiful landscape that you can water and grow.
Yeah.
And so if people are watching and really thinking about how to move from maybe a part of their garden that is just like not working for them into, you know, planting some seeds or watering or fertilizing or nurturing another part of them, how can they make that transition?
I mean, it looks different for everybody, but something that I feel like you and I often connect on is just that idea of like, well, what serves us and doesn't serve us. Like, we are all shaped by the world we grew up in, the waters we swim in.
Thank you for that metaphor. Oh my God, Lauren, come through with a metaphor. In this metaphor, are we fish?
Yeah, I think I'm a colorful fish.
Okay, amazing. I'm definitely a dolphin.
Dolphins, they have chlamydia, sorry.
Fun fact. I'll put it at the bottom. We'll cite it. Give me the citation, Lauren. Fun fact, dolphins have chlamydia. We are going to end this with Lauren's fun, wild sex facts. Okay. So,
dolphin, fish.
Yeah. So we're swimming in
these waters. Right. And like, we can try to do what everybody else is around us is doing, or which I kind of use as to line up with like this idea of doing what we think we're supposed to do. But like, typically we're not really having fun or getting where we want to be until we're kind of following our own currents. Another thing I really appreciate you, like, some ability to sit with that discomfort so you can discern, like, am I uncomfortable because this is like a threat or is dangerous to me? Or am I uncomfortable because maybe I'm in that picture and I don't really like it?
Yeah.
Or maybe
it's a point of growth for you.
Yes.
And like being able to know yourself, to be like, this is uncomfortable because it's not a good situation for me,
right,
or whatever. Or this is uncomfortable, but once I get past it, I'm gonna a little bud is gonna spark.
Right.
Right. And I think that is really good, because like, people don't like to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And when you transplant your flowers and you are in relationship with other people, yes, we want to be doing things that serve ourselves, but there is going to be a back and forth, right, in this relationship, because you may be doing things that serve you. I want to do things that serve me, and they could be in conflict with each other. So what do we do then? How do we mend this garden?
I mean,
too metaphoric.
it comes up all the time.
Yeah.
in talking about relationships, especially with young people. But then when I talk to other adults and I'm like, oh yeah, I was in a class today and we were talking about boundaries, or what do you do when someone else's behavior makes you uncomfortable, but you know in your head, like you can't just tell them what to do or control them. Like, I know I have to let them be their own person, but also I really want them to be a different person in this moment.
No, it's like, yeah, we are experiencing two different things that don't feel good in a relationship, but like we want to preserve the relationship, then what?
That's where that sitting with that discomfort, I think, is so useful.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, people know that, like, if they don't want to do something, they're supposed to just say no and that they can always leave. And that is true. But when we want to preserve a relationship, there's this other part of us that my bias is that it's ingrained in humans, that we developed in community. We're highly social creatures. That, I mean, if you want to think about it from some like ancient history standpoint,
Do it.
like if you get kicked out of the group, that's a death sentence.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so like fundamental to our survival, like when we want to maintain a relationship, it's life or death in a way.
Yeah. You have the research. I don't. I'm probably going to say something not factual, but you know, it's like ingrained in us to be like, well, now I'm out by myself. I'm out in the cold, and like I don't have my pack to keep me warm.
Oh,
right?
no, the research absolutely supports you.
Oh, thank you.
In fact, fun fact that feels
Yes.
relevant here.
We're just gonna pop fun facts all episode with Lauren. I love it.
They've done the brain research to show that emotional pain lights up the same parts of the brain as physical pain. But like if you stub your toe or whatever, but this is not well supported, but it's speculated that in a breakup, you can try taking over-the-counter pain meds like Tylenol or Advil, and it might actually help a little bit. It's not gonna make it go away,
Right.
but they are gonna help with some of those parts of the brain that receive those pain messages.
Wow.
I know, I thought that was so
also
cool.
Probably a good time to say neither one of us are
Or
doctors.
doctors, right,
We're
right,
not
right.
telling
Speculated,
you if you have a breakup to start popping Tylenol, but do your own research. And there is some studies that say that maybe that could help the heartache a little bit.
Yeah, just turn the pain down a notch.
Just a notch.
It's not gonna turn the sound off.
That is also very fascinating. That is really fascinating.
I was so intrigued by that.
So, let's say someone is in a relationship, right? And they are in it, and maybe they want some ways to like connect better, or like, you know, co-garden, or, you know, what are some tools? I know I have one thing that comes to my mind I would love to talk to you about.
I'm a huge fan of the Gottmans.
Yes, 100%. And what I was going to say is from
The Gottmans,
Yeah.
yeah. One, they just seem also kind of like nerds. Maybe
They are.
Maybe it's like recognize like. I'm like, you're my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And it's backed by research.
But it is backed by research, but they did a style of research that's important to me, because like, don't get me wrong, I do love some statistics. I'm embarrassed to say.
You do.
I do love some statistics, but I love people more.
Yeah.
And so they do a style of research where they're like, let's just talk to a bunch of people. Let's look at a ton of people's experience and then see what are the patterns that come out of that.
Yeah.
Rather than, I mean, there are some real dark and ugly parts of statistics that are all about like being prescriptive to people, about deciding who is more and less human. I mean, ties to eugenics, gross stuff. And so to me, they feel more like a person-centered research, where it's like, well, if people are in relationships, living lives, some of them survive, relationships continue for a long time, and some relationships don't. Well, let's just look at all these people in relationships. And that just feels, I don't want to say more real, but more human for sure.
Thing that I'm a big component of is their union of a state of union. And so what a state of union is basically just like a check-in, and it's a worksheet, because I love a worksheet, I love a little homework, and it's really just an opportunity for you and your partner to like check in about the relationship.
And to have a tool, right?
Yeah.
Because often navigating those spaces where you're like, well, some stuff's working, some stuff isn't, like a lot of times people are like, well, but what do I do about it? Something that would pair really well with that does come from my life as a sexuality educator is with like a State of the Union, people can also look at different facets of intimacy. So like you can look online for kinds of intimacy, but you know, one kind of intimacy is intellectual intimacy, where you're sharing ideas. Other kinds might be physical or emotional or spiritual. There's more.
Yeah.
But people can also go through those types of intimacy and be like, how important is this for me in this relationship? And then how much of my needs am I getting? Like, I want a lot of emotional intimacy from this person I live with. Okay, well, am I getting mostly what I'm looking for?
Lots of good nuggets in this conversation today, but let's do some fun facts. Lauren's fun fact.
Okay, so the one that came up that would tie back to something recently I've been thinking about is how to support people with outies as they want to like learn about their bodies. This is tied in. I found out quite recently that the original lyrics to Tutti Frutti by the fabulous Little Richard were inspired by same-sex cruising. We'll just say it's about a behavior
that makes sense.
People who are often cruising engage in.
Tutti Frutti.
The original lyrics are about
I didn't. Okay. Oh my. See, now we have to find those original lyrics.
You can find them online quite easily.
What a fun fact. So if we think about like this theme, bloom where you're planted, you know, love and lessons, what are a couple lessons that you want to share that you've learned along the way?
That you get to make your own relationship. That like often we assume certain things go together, like maybe in order to live with someone, you've got to be sexually exclusive. And if you want both of those things to go together, that's fine, but they don't have to.
Yeah, people get to design their relationship.
Right, like maybe you want to share finances with somebody you're in a long-term relationship, but also you don't have to. You can have a loving, committed relationship where you don't share finances or you don't share a bedroom. It doesn't mean you don't maybe still do stuff, but maybe you don't want to sleep every night next to somebody, but you still want to be in a committed relationship. Or you don't want to take vacations together.
I did read an article about a new craze. Like we've heard separate bedrooms before, but they're actually having separate bathrooms.
Oh, sure.
I heard that. Like people are building second bathrooms in their home. They're like, that's an option?
Yeah.
It's an option. You don't want to share a bathroom. You know, people, my husband's a mess. My girlfriend's lashes are everywhere. You can just separate. You can just have two totally different bathrooms.
Maybe.
We are seeing that more and more, right? Like, you know, there was a time where it was like, this is the role, this is what you do, you get married, you have kids, you have, you know, 2.4 kids, you have your dog, your white picket fence, and like people are just really disrupting that and challenging that in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And, you know, my hope is that like anybody watching, in a relationship or not, that your biggest takeaway from this conversation is that dolphins have chlamydia, you know?
And
that you can have the relationship that you want.
Right. And it doesn't even have to include other people, right? Even for people who are single, right? There are still ways to have people you go on vacation with, people you do your errands with, people that you're going to grow old with, like this enmeshing of, in order to have these kind of supports or these things you want in life, you have to have a certain kind of relationship. More and more people, not just I want to know that that's not the case, but then also are building examples of what that can look like.
Absolutely. And, you know, the nice thing about this theme in a garden is like you can always change it.
Yeah.
You can always change it, right? You don't like petunias?
I want to change my answer to that one.
Get some roses. I don't know anything about gardening, so I don't know why I picked this theme, but I do.
Experimentation. Because one way to learn is to try things.
Is to try things. And just because something doesn't work out doesn't mean that it wasn't worth the try.
Right.
And that may feel scary. That may feel uncomfortable. And that's okay too. What I'm going to challenge people with is like, plant it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
See what it takes. And if it doesn't work, you can take it out. You still have a garden.
And it gets to be your garden. Wow. Any last words
Thank you for
people.
having me. This was such fun.
This was a really good conversation. I think we gave up people a lot of things to think about. Lauren, this was fascinating. I didn't expect anything less.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Scene. Okay, what a conversation we had with Lauren. We learned all sorts of fun things. I'm so excited for my next guest. I actually met my next guest when I was a guest host on My Talk, the Brittany and Kendall show. Y'all remember Brittany? She was on earlier this season. And as soon as I met this girl, I was like, kindred spirits. And so excited to talk to her today. She is a licensed therapist. She also has a dating coach business called Unstuck by Michelle. Please welcome my next guest, Michelle O'Connell. Woo!
I wish I would have ran out.
You should have. Come, run out. Do it. Do it.
Okay, Michelle O'Connell.
Michelle O'Connell, here we are. She's here. Yes. Yes. I just want to say, if I had a trophy, you win best entrance.
Thank you.
Usually I just have people sitting there. I love that.
My dream is to run out for the people.
You did too. We can have you come behind the curtain next time. There's just a wall behind there, but you can do that.
I'll do it.
I love that. Such good energy. I'm glad to have you
I'm out of breath now.
on today. Okay, take a deep breath in your nose, out your mouth. I think that's good. So the first time I got to meet you, you have a segment that you do on My Talk from 3 to 6 on the Brittany and Kendall show, talking about dating and your business Unstuck by Michelle. So before we get there, can we just back it up? What got you into being a dating coach? Yeah, I'm just really curious about that.
Yeah, so I have been a mental health therapist. I keep saying like 15 years, and I'm just gonna say 15 years because it's like I keep getting older and
You're like, we don't want to say 25.
Yeah.
It's just 15 years in perpetuity.
and then about 4 or 5, well, rewind fully. I was in a long-term relationship, and when we broke up, I was like, dating is going to be so fun. I was like, dating's going to be fun. Yeah. And I was so excited to start dating. And then when I started dating, it was not fun. It was hard. And I learned a lot about myself, and I had to do a lot of work to be someone that I would even want to date. So fast forward, I started helping a lot of my friends with their dating profiles. Like they'd say, hey, can you look at it? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh. And I noticed people had a really hard time advertising themselves because that's what you're doing, right? You're advertising yourself, and it feels a little weird. And so then all of that.
That's such a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Because if you think about like, I'm starting a profile, it's like one thing, but if you're like, I am advertising myself to potential partners, you might go about it differently.
Yeah, and if you're not fond of yourself, right? Like the advertisement's going to show that.
Yeah, that's good.
So then the third component is I went to a speed dating event, and that was interesting. And I saw so many people, and as a therapist-brained person, right, I was like, I just want to help you. Like, you're so nervous, right? Or, oh, you shouldn't have said that. And I wanted to help people. So all of those things combined, one day I was like, dating coaching. I want to do dating coaching. And that is how Unstuck by Michelle transpired.
Yeah, and what made you think unstuck? Because that is a really interesting word to use when you're thinking about dating and, you know, like, so what brought you to unstuck?
I wish I had that sheet of paper still where you had like, you know, all the names of what should I name this?
Yeah.
Unstuck is just, I feel like people get stuck. People feel so stuck with dating, and they feel hopeless and like just nothing is going to change. And so my work with people is to help them change their lens and to feel unstuck.
Yeah, and I love that third party like observation, because sometimes when you're in it, you're like, my profile's amazing, I'm amazing, like, but I'm just not finding a partner. And to have someone be like, all of those things are true, and here's some things that we can work on together to help you be more successful and to get what you want in, you know, within this dating. So in your expertise, like, what are some of the trends that you're seeing in dating that is really feeling prevalent right now?
Yeah, big trend, right, is people are burnt out.
Yeah.
People are feeling burnt out with dating. The dating culture is just very different than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's different. And you said, what's the trend, right?
Yeah.
The trend is burnout.
Okay. The trend is burnout.
The trend. People
So does that mean people take a break from dating? What does that mean?
You know, studies are showing that it takes like about a year, 6 months to a year to find somebody to date online when you're online dating. Most people are meeting online. People go on the apps, they get off the apps. They go on, they get off. Like, you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent. And that's hard when you're not feeling good.
Yeah. When you're like, oh, I put myself out there, I have all these things going on, and like it's not working, and then you get burnt out. But that was like 3 months. You didn't even give yourself a good half a year to a year to really, let the algorithm rotate a little bit too. It's like to have more people to potentially date. So today's theme is bloom, where you're planted. I love a metaphor. Also, you have beautiful flowers, tattoos, and stuff. So I feel like you were made for this theme. But bloom where you're planted, lessons in love, right? And of the heart and dating. So how do you think someone can they're like, okay, I have this plot of land myself, and I'm gonna start gardening.
Yes.
And what are some things that people can do in prep?
That's why I love bloom and getting ready and planting and
love
growing.
Metaphors.
That
Thank you so much.
Love that so much because it's so important.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just think of, people often think about the end scene, going with the metaphor, the garden at the end, beautiful garden. But it doesn't just boop, happen. You have to do the work.
Yeah.
And so
there's a lot of hoeing.
Yeah.
Weeding.
Yeah, I liked hoeing. I liked it. So when people are thinking about, I'm ready to date, right? I think that it always starts at home. It always starts with you, and it always starts with how do you want to show up.
To tell people overall, you are in control of this for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You can't control the matches. You can't control if someone doesn't respond to you, but you get to control a little bit of your garden. You can't control the weather.
Yeah.
But what are the things that are in your control?
Yeah, and I recently was telling somebody a good way to think about moving forward with dating is to look at your past and to think about past relationships. Maybe you haven't had relationships. Think about past dates, your past dating experiences. If you've had relationships or relationships, it's so easy to get stuck on the narrative about what that other person did wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Or why it ended because of that person. But let's be real, we all played a role in things.
Your approach to being a dating coach, what feels like you're a therapist, which is, you have amazing skills. So what is your approach to being a dating coach? If somebody was to contact you?
Yeah, so when I meet with somebody or when someone reaches out, I always connect via phone first. So for a 10 to 15 minute phone call, because I want to make sure people know what dating coaching is.
Yeah, what is dating coaching? Maybe we should back it up.
Rewind.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll tell you.
Because I think I know, but maybe I don't.
Yeah. So people often, I literally yesterday, someone's like, oh, matchmaker. I was like, I'm not a matchmaker.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know that many people. And if I do know matches, I will set people up. But dating coaching is, and it's hard to say exactly because everybody's needs are so unique. So I help people who are feeling stuck, and they come to me and they tell me a little bit about them. And that first phone call, they say this is why I reached out to you. And I say, all right, well, this is what dating coaching is. I learn about you. I learn about your past relationships, your dating and what you're currently doing to date, or if you're not dating. And then based on all of that, we talk about how to move forward. So the dating coaching part is really being somebody's sidekick, support system, voice of reason when it comes to dating.
Yeah, and so if somebody's watching, be like, I'll just do that with my homegirls. My homegirls would be that. I think it can be a real benefit to have this third party, right, to observe, like you said, look at their profile, listen to the thing. If you're anxious, that's what we need to work on. We don't need to work on your profile until we work on some of these things with you. Yeah. And I think that's what's so beautiful, that you are, are a licensed therapist and a dating coach, because they kind of get a little bit of both.
So I tell my dating clients, I say, so as by trade, I'm a mental health therapist. That is what I do. As a mental health therapist, I do a lot of attachment work, trauma work. that's my area of specialty. And so I say, that's not something that we're going to do as with dating coaching. If I recognize that you maybe have some stuff that would be beneficial to work on with a therapist, I will tell you that.
Yeah, well, that's
I will
good.
say, like,
yeah.
you have some, it seems like clinical anxiety that would be best served meeting with a therapist,
Yeah.
either in conjunction or do that first
Yeah.
and then come back. And I say, I can't be your therapist.
Right, you can't be
Yeah.
both.
But I say I can't take off what I know, like
Yeah.
what I know about the human brain, the body, the nervous system.
Yeah.
And so understanding the why behind people is really important. So I think when people go to their friends, I remember when I was all coupled up and I would hear friends dating, I'm like, oh my gosh, just do that, just do that.
Yeah.
And then when I was actually dating, I was like, oh, I hope that was terrible advice.
Yeah, I shouldn't be telling people to do that
was
at all.
terrible.
Yeah. Feel like, I care about you, you're my friend. I'm just gonna gas you up. Like, yeah, girl, do it. But like, Michelle, the dating coach, would be like, that is not.
Yeah, or just because someone is in a relationship and or married for a year doesn't mean they know how to date or that their relationship is healthy.
Yeah, right. Like, who are you taking advice from? Yeah. So sometimes it is nice to tap into a professional.
Yeah.
In your expertise, what are people not doing with their garden that they need to be doing more of? Just like in general.
The first thing that comes to my head, and it kind of goes with the garden. No, it doesn't go with the garden thing.
Make it go with the garden.
Okay, two things.
Okay.
Sleep, get better sleep.
Oh.
And I know that seems completely
Wow.
unrelated, perhaps, but you have people who want to date. Dating takes energy. Like, you need energy to meet somebody, to go on a date. A lot of people are working full-time jobs, second jobs. Some people have kids. Like, it's a
Yeah.
lot. And then you're expected to meet new people and have energy for them. But if you're not getting
Go to
that,
happy hour after work?
Yes!
Like, get out of here. I
I
had 4
know.
hours of sleep. I just had a busy work day, and now I got this date.
yes.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting at least, and I'm being kind here, 6 hours of sleep, you're not, you don't have access to your full brain. So if you want to date better, if you want to have more confidence, more self-esteem, if you want to feel better in your body, you have to get more sleep. So
Well, it blows my mind. I didn't even think about that. I was really thinking, like, you will say, like, write down, your wants and write down your dating goals. You're like,
sleep and water.
sleep and
I know,
water.
that a water thing. The water thing too, like drink more water. I know
Yeah.
those things seem completely unrelated, but with all of my dating clients, I say, how much sleep are you getting? Oh, and I'm like, how do you
Yeah.
expect to make choices that are good for your future when you don't have your whole brain?
Wow.
So those
Mic drop. That is so true. And we don't think about that. We don't think
No.
about, all of the things that could be contributing to our benefit, or to our hindrance when we think about dating and sleep and making sure, like you said,
Yeah.
having access to your full brain to make good decisions. Discernment is so important with
Yeah.
dating. And like, I can't do that on 2 hours of sleep
No.
and like a Red Bull.
No, oh, Red Bull. And I was going to say too, like finding your mantra of that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. But I just had this moment where I was like, Michelle, no matter what, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, you have a great life. Whether you meet somebody in the next year, 5 years, 10, like you have a great life without somebody.
Yeah.
It's just going to shine even brighter when you have somebody. I do believe for most people it will happen.
Yeah.
Like, I think that
I
there's,
believe that too.
Yeah, I think there's multiple people for people in this world.
I have a curious question
Yes.
for you. I don't know if you have thoughts on it, but once you stop looking, you'll find them. Have you heard that?
Yeah, you find it when you least expect
Yeah,
it.
you
or
find
like,
it when you're not looking, or What are your thoughts on that?
I think you have to look. Like, what? No one's gonna. I say this all the time.
Yeah,
in my
like I've
posts.
never found my keys when I didn't look for them.
And no one's gonna show up at your doorstep, like unless like literally you and the Amazon person have like a connection.
Click. Yeah.
Like you often have to, especially as you get older. I don't know
Yeah.
about you. I'm not turning up in the club on Friday night. Like,
No, the
I'm-
comedy club, but like, but I love that. So that whole saying of you'll find it when you're not looking, you
So-
have to look.
So I would say, hear me out here.
I'm gonna hear you.
Hear me out.
I'll hear you
I think
out.
it's an age thing. So nowadays, I think it's over 50% of people are meeting online.
Sure.
They just are. So I think at a certain age, you have to look for it a little more, because
Yeah.
statistically speaking, right, I'm 39, I'm 25. If I'm 39, if I go out, a lot of people my age are going to be married. I can, but when you're younger, if you're in college or you're
Sure.
working, it's just different when you're younger. You
Yeah.
don't have to try as hard because you're organically put into situations with people in your age range, and there's more single people.
Yeah, that makes
So I think
sense.
if you're in your young 20s, yes,
Go out.
go
You're
out.
not gonna look for it. The guy will come up with a shot of Jägermeister and
Yeah.
you'll be together for the next 6 months.
Do people still drink Jägermeister?
I hope not.
I remember thinking,
I
when
just thought back to my 20s and I
Yes.
was like, Jägermeister.
I remember we first tried that, and someone's like, "It's a my friend, she's like, it's a totally different drunk. It's like and I remember it took a shot, and I was like, just waiting to feel, I just feel normal drunk.
Yeah.
But so I do feel like when you're younger, sure, but when
Yeah.
you're older, you have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Tell people you're single. Tell people, hey, I'm looking to date if you know anybody. Put it out there.
Yeah. Get a sign. Go on the corner. Like, just be like, hey, I'm dating.
Like, why not? On some news, I don't know where I saw this, so probably Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody made a greeting card, like a holiday card, with their face on it and their dog, and gave it to their friend, and it said, I'm single. So their friend hung it on their fridge. And so anybody that came to their house saw that her friend was single and looking. Yeah, it was a super
A
cute-
calling card?
Yes.
That's amazing.
And so I had a dating client.
Get you a comp card.
Yeah, no, he sent it to me. That is how I heard it. My dating client sent it, and he's like, should I do this? And I said, why not? Put yourself out there. Put yourself on a greeting card.
Put yourself on a greeting card and just send it around to people. It doesn't even have to be the holidays. Do it for St. Patty's Day. Do it for
Happy
Valentine's
St. Patrick's Day, single and looking.
Yeah, for Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Get a little Semper.
Single de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, don't just wait for it to come to you. Put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there. What a beautiful, beautiful takeaway.
Yes.
Yes.
It was so good up here, and then along the way where it comes out, something about, I was going to say, planting seeds, like you can't, something about being single, you got to put it out there or flowers won't grow.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot
That
of
works?
sense.
Okay.
You have to plant seeds.
Yeah.
Like nobody has a garden that's
Without planting seeds.
Without planting
So you have
seeds.
to tell people.
We got there, girl.
You
Come
have to
on
tell
now.
people you're
Come
single.
on, we
Yes.
got there. Right?
Like, if I gave up dating every time my heart was broken, something didn't go well, I used to text my sister all the time, this is the one I'm going to marry, to be serendipitous. Like,
Yeah.
but if I gave up every time that my heart was broken or something went bad, I wouldn't have found the guy I'm with.
It's like, stay in it, people.
Stay
we
in
know
it.
it's hard out there. We acknowledge that, but like, stay in there.
I learned along the way, like I'm married. My husband was married for years. I was just waiting for him to get divorced, right? Like,
Yeah.
I said that in my TikTok once, and someone's like, "You were dating a married man?" I was like, "No, that's not what I'm saying."
He was divorced.
Yeah, I didn't know him
But
until
the
he was
but
divorced.
like, what a sentiment,
Yeah,
right? Like maybe your person just isn't ready for you yet.
Yeah, I feel very hopeful about people in dating and love, and I understand why there's negativity and there's jadedness, and I am here to help people change their lens on dating.
What a beautiful.
That was not rehearsed; it just
ball.
came out.
It just came out.
came out.
Can they
Yeah.
find you? How can they look at your TikToks? Tell people
Yeah.
where to reach you.
So, as Khadijah said, Unstuck by Michelle with 2 L's. If you know Michelle with 1 L, oof, stay away. And I'm just kidding, Michelle's with 1 L. So Unstuck by Michelle with 2 L's. That's my TikTok. That's my Instagram handle. Back in the day, I started a Twitter thing. Don't go there. I never did anything with it.
No
So-
Twitter.
No Twitter. So you can find me on, what did we say, TikTok and Instagram are the main things that I post. Yeah. And I'm writing a book.
You're writing a book.
I'm writing a book. I have to keep saying it out loud. I have an outline.
I love that.
So by the time we are on the show, it will be maybe launched.
Amazing. Well, make sure to follow Michelle because a book is coming out.
book is coming.
We're not giving you any teasers, so you have to follow her to know what this book is about. And maybe it's a workbook. Maybe it's a self-help book. Maybe it's a dating guideline. We don't know. We don't know. But you will know if you follow Michelle at Unstuck by Michelle on Instagram and TikTok. Well, thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming today and giving us some reassurance on the dating, letting people know that the most important thing they can do is drink some water and get some sleep. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And see, what a great conversation we had today. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Lauren and Michelle for stopping by and dropping all their wisdom on animals and on dating. I think my biggest takeaway from the conversation I had with Lauren is that you get to build the relationship you want. You get to decide. And my biggest takeaway from Michelle was drink water and get sleep to put your best foot forward when you're dating. Until next time, this is the Khadijah Show. I love you. I mean it. Goodbye.